Most people are familiar with pigs, including wild pigs. No matter where you live, you might have seen a pig. Even the Americas have feral pigs, but those are introduced. Well, it's even invasive in the USA. Still, did you know that the Americas do have pig-like animals? That is, peccaries. So, let me bring up the question. What exactly is peccary? Even though they look like pig, peccaries are not pig. Pigs are classified in the familia Suidae, while peccaries are classified in the familia Thayasuidae. It came from the Portuguese Tayasu, which is used in the Tupi language to call the white-lipped peccaries. Peccaries are also called javelina, or at least I think that's how it's pronounced. I'll write the word on the screen just to make it clear. Peccaries are still the closest relatives of pig, forming the clade Suina, usually considered a suborder. Currently, there are at least 3 recognized species of peccaries. All 3 belong in different genera. Those 3 are the white-lipped peccary, Tayasu peccary, Chacoan peccary, Catagonus wagneri, and colored peccary, Dicotyles tayasu, or sometimes also called Peccary tayasu. Peccaries can be found in the Americas, mostly South America, but also Central America and Southern North America. Alright, let's talk about their morphology. In general, their build is similar to pigs. They have long snout with a disc-like tip. They have relatively small eyes. One of the easier ways to tell them apart is by looking at their tail. Peccaries have a very short and stumpy tail, while pigs normally have long tail. Well, longer tail at least. Pigs usually have pointy ears, while peccaries usually have rounded ears. Pigs usually have recurved tusks, while peccaries usually have straight tusks. Their overall dental formula is also different, of course. Pigs have 3 upper and lower incisors, 1 upper and lower canine, 4 upper and lower premolars, and 3 upper and lower molars. Peccaries have 2 upper and 3 lower incisors, 1 upper and lower canine, 3 upper and lower premolars, and 3 upper and lower molars. In short, peccaries have fewer teeth. Peccaries usually have reduced digits on their hind feet, basically means they only have 3 or 2 hind digits, while pigs have 4 hind digits. Peccaries are mid-sized. Mature peccaries are usually around 1 meters long. Tayasu peccary usually have blackish fur with white patches on their lower snout, which is why they are called the white-lipped peccary. They are around 90 to 135 centimeters long. Dicotyles tayasu, aka colored peccary, is called that way because they consistently have bright coloration on their, well, color, I guess. It's like a collar. Hope that doesn't confuse you. Anyway, they are usually around 80 to 100 centimeters long. The third species, Catagonus wagneri or Chacoan peccaries, are the largest, usually more than 1 meter. They have longer ears and tails, longer hairs, and they also have extra digits. This one has 3 hind digits while the other species have 2 hind digits. Next, let's talk about their behavior. But before that, their lifestyle is also relatively similar to pigs. However, they are mostly diurnals, but can be active during the night at times. They usually sleep in a burrow, sometimes also caves, abandoned tunnels, or simply under fallen logs or bushes. They are generally omnivores. They eat roots, grasses, fruits, seeds, insects, and other small animals. They are quite famous for eating prickly pears though. But yeah, like I said, they are generalists. Peccaries are not ruminants, but they are also foregut fermenters. Oh, by the way, pigs are hindgut fermenters, so they are also different in their digestive system structure. The 3 species have different habitat preference. Colored peccaries can be found in arid scrubland and tropical rainforests. White-lipped peccaries can be found in rainforests, while Chacoan peccaries can be found in dry shrublands. Peccaries are also known to have a distinct odor, which is why they are known as the skunk pig. They have scent glands to mark their territories. Speaking of territories, they are actually social animals. They form herds of up to 100 individuals, but usually less than 50 individuals. Different species have different herd size. For example, the Chacuan peccaries herds typically have less than 20 individuals. The herd includes any sexes of any ages. So yeah, there are many males, but there is usually a dominant male, which, as usual, will have more mating partners. They breed all year round, with around 18 to 21 days estrus cycle. Gestation period lasts for 150 days. They usually have one or two offsprings. Offsprings are precocial, so they can almost immediately move with their herd after being born. They are weaned within 2 to 3 months. They reach sexual maturity within 2 years, which is quite long compared to pigs. They are known to make chattering noises with their teeth when threatened. Not only do they do this when a potential predator is near, they also do this when another herd approaches. So yeah, they are indeed territorial, but not individually. The territory is for the entire herd. Okay, so throughout this video, I say there are 3 species of peccaries, but a 4th one is considered. So let's talk about it. The 4th species is the giant peccary, described as Peccary maximus. It was found in Brazil in the early 2000s. The giant peccary is supposed to be larger, averaging 120 to 137 centimeters. They are said to form a pair instead of living in a herd. There was a skull specimen which was used as the type specimen, and even some molecular analysis on the supposed distinct species. However, it is deemed insufficient and questionable, which is why this species is generally not recognized, or, at the very least, data deficient. Now, even though there are only 3 recognized extant species, we actually have several fossil records that belong to different species, different genera even. Peccary fossils are actually quite abundant in the Americas, which means they were once thriving, at least relative to the current condition. Fossil peccaries had been found dating back to Eocene, around 37 million years ago, that is, the Perhoerus. 2 of the 3 extant species fossils can also be found dating back to Middle Pleistocene, that is, around 700,000 to 130,000 years ago. Meanwhile, the Chacuan peccaries fossil can be found dating back to the late Pleistocene. So yeah, even the extant species had evolved 100,000 years ago. If we're talking about the current population, the colored peccaries are considered least concern. That is, the most widespread peccaries after all. White-lipped peccaries are considered vulnerable. Meanwhile, the Chacuan peccaries are considered endangered. The fact that their distribution is very limited doesn't really help the case. The main threat for them are deforestations which cause fragmentation of their habitat. They aren't fond of humans either, so their range is very limited. Oh, by the way, even though they are quite similar to pigs, peccaries are not domesticated, at least not at the current age. However, archaeological remains of peccaries had been found here and there in the Americas. They were raised for food and rituals. Peccaries also have some cultural significance to the native. For example, here is a drinking vessel of the Pueblo people, which is shaped like a peccary. So yeah, even though they resemble pigs, peccaries are, of course, unique in their own way. There's still a lot of work to be done for the peccary taxonomy, including their fossils of course, because there's quite a lot. So I hope we'll get more information in the future. But for now, let's just learn what is known. And that's all for now. Oh, by the way, peccaries can share the same habitat with feral pigs, so don't misidentify them. Feral pigs are usually considered invasive species in the Americas after all, so don't get too hasty. Anyway, enjoy your day.